Hello everyone, another balmy day in the desert today. Had a lot of fun last week with the 9x25 357 SIG throwdown. So I thought, you know what, time to start looking at the next one. I thought probably what I'd like to do is get into some 10 mil. Reloading, do a quick little review on reloading the 10 millimeter, and in the process put some rounds together to go up against some competitors. I just finished up replacing some of the rounds I used in the 9x25 throwdown. I was happy with the 115 grains. They were not quite where I wanted, but they did wind up in the speed range that I was looking for. Definitely disappointed with my 125s. Going to change powders on that. I was real happy with the 147s. In fact, I decided to put some more of those together. I bumped up the charge just a little bit on that, still sticking with the 800X. I like the velocity that that powder provides. It's a good clean burning powder. Excellent powder for 10 millimeter and 9x25. These are done. Time to move on. Still have my setup from the 9x25, so I'm going to do a quick change here. The thing I like about the Dillon 550 is it makes changing caliber very, very easy. You can go from one caliber to the next in a matter of minutes. If you have the setups or your die holder already set up with your caliber dies. In this case, I'm pulling out the 9x25 setup, and we're going to go ahead and put in the 10 millimeter setup. Pretty straightforward. Go ahead and slide the die holder in and put your powder holder in, powder feeder, tighten everything down. Go ahead and put your retaining pins in to keep the holder in place. Another convenience with this is the 9x25, as it is a neck down 10 millimeter. The shell plate and everything down below stays the same. Pretty cool. So a lot of time saved there. Gonna stick with 800X. It's a good powder for, like I said, the 10 millimeter 9x25. It's even good for the 40 Smith & Wesson. So we will be using 800X by IMR. Another component we'll be using today will be the 180 grain Speer Gold Dot. This is a bonded bullet, excellent choice for self-defense. Also got a box of brand new Starline brass. I'm going to use the nickel plated brass. I like nickel plated brass. My choice of primers for today will be the Federal Large Magnum pistol primer. Okay, what I'll be aiming for here, I've already picked up some contestants for the upcoming challenge in 10 mil. I've got another offering by Underwood, the 180 grain 10 mil. They're predicting 1,300 feet per second. In that will be using either my Glock 29 or my Glock 20, the 20 having a 4.6 inch barrel. I'm pretty sure they were using something around a 6-inch barrel for that, but we'll see. I still think I can get that speed with my load out of a 4.6. Gonna throw in some Buffalo Bore into the mix. A lot of people seem to like this company. Buffalo Bore, the one I've got is 180 grain jacketed hollow point. They're predicting 1,350 feet per second, 782 foot-pounds of energy. I can guarantee you it will fall short, and not just because I've got a 4.6 inch barrel, but I've yet to see Buffalo Bore hold up to that. And especially since this box of 20 was about $44, they are real expensive. Another contestant will be, yep, you got it, Double Tap. 180 grain jacketed hollow point. They are saying 1,300 feet per second out of a 5-inch barrel. Yeah, I doubt that. We'll see, but I'll be willing to bet $5 that they don't even come close to that. We'll see. And again, you're paying premium price for this. This box of 20 cost me $24. So, you know, I think that's what I have a problem with. The public is purchasing based on representations on these boxes, thinking that's what they're going to get, and it's not always the case. You have to understand that when they test these speeds, it's in a laboratory setting for most part. It's in a barrel and a temperature and atmosphere that is different than what you might be at or what you'll be shooting with. So chances of you getting close to what the box says are, I don't know, 50-50 at the best. But I've yet to see Double Tap come in on numerous other videos, even close to what they say on their boxes, so I don't know where they're coming from. I've already got some of my stuff put together. I've got, this is an old Double Tap box, but what I've got in here are 155 grain Barnes lead-free, and I've got them sitting on a little over 12 grains of Blue Dot, hoping for about 1,300 feet per second out of this. It is, like I said, 155 grain copper, all copper bullet. I've got on this one, it looks like I'm using Winchester large pistol Magnum primers, and again I'm using nickel plated Starline brass. So that's going to be one of the offerings. Like I said, I will be putting together some 180 grains today. So what we'll start off with is a empty case. We will, even though these are new, I always run them through the first stage and then just make sure we get a good seat on the primer. Okay. And then move to the second. Put in another case. Now, the disadvantage with 800X, I mentioned earlier in one of my videos, is that 800X is a very, very flaky powder. I don't know if I'm going to even get a chance to get this even close to having you see this properly. But it's often referred to as trying to meter cornflakes. And as such, because of the differing sizes of the individual grains and shapes, the resulting metered charge will vary extensively from one round to the other for quite a while until you get it stabilized. All right, I lucked out. I'm looking at trying to get 9.8, I believe. I want to make sure. Yeah, I'm going to go for 9.8. Looks like I didn't luck out, and I'm sitting at 10.6 right now. So what we'll do is dump some of this, and we'll go back and forth for a little bit and get still at about 9.9. There you go, I went too far. No, did I? Let's get the wind off of it. I will tell you that 800X will test your patience. So if you are going to use this powder, be prepared to almost check every load in the beginning and do random checks throughout your loading. All right, so we're sitting at about 9.8 on this, which is where I want 9.7 or 9.8, and out of that I'm hoping with 180 grains to get somewhere around 1,350 feet per second, which is a good spunky round for 180 grains out of a 10 mil Glock 20. And when we go to the range, we'll see how I did. I'll either be a hero or you guys can be laughing your ass off at me. We'll see, one of the two. But, all right, so we've got that load in the seating station. I got a new load in our new case in the first station. And you want to seat to a 1.256 at the most. Let's see what we get. 1.259, perfect. Now, the crimp, as I've mentioned in a previous video on straight wall cases, is just a mild crimp. You do not want to get carried away with a strong crimp on a straight walled case with a 10 mil, the 40. There are some exceptions that you would get into. As I mentioned earlier, again, the 454 Casull. The excessive recoil that this round produces, you want a very, very strong crimp. And I put a very strong crimp on this particular round. And I'll show you what happens if you don't pay attention to. All right, even though this is a 1.751 is a normal case overall length for 454 in this 300 grain. That's what this started at, 1.75. And I don't know if you can see that. This round has not been fired. It was just an unfired round that I pulled out of the chamber when I was done shooting. And the recoil has moved it from 175 to 177, indicating that the crimp still wasn't sufficient for the charge that I was using. And as you know, that charge was pretty cool. I was very happy with my 300 grain Casull rounds. I normally on cooler days get closer to 1700 feet per second with that round, but I was happy with what we got on that day. So we've got a very light crimp that we're going to put on this. I am going to put a number of these together for a throwdown, if you want to call it, with some of the big players in the 10 mil market. See how I do, and we'll go from there. Until then, you guys have some fun, be safe. I'll talk to you soon.